Mason schools are heading back to the drawing board to look at school programming and schedules to ensure that students' needs are being met today and into the future.
There are a lot of exciting things happening in Mason schools today. One of the things we're focused on is 21st century skills. And as you can see, these skills go beyond content knowledge to really focus on things like critical thinking, creativity, communication skills, and collaboration.
As far as revenues per pupil for the district is concerned, Mason receives less funding per pupil than both similar districts in the state average. We receive $1,365 less per pupil than the state average and about $1,100 less for similar districts. Now, these numbers don't appear to be large, but when you realize that we have about 11,000 students, the revenue difference translates to the fact that we receive about $15 million less than the state average for the district and about $12 million less than our similar. This chart identifies the components of our revenues, and as you can see, about 53% of the majority of our revenues come from local taxes. The second largest is about 29% from state funding formula. The school revenues don't automatically grow, and a normal levy cycle produces surpluses in the first half of the cycle and deficits in the second half. Mason is currently at the end of the levy cycle. The last levy passed was about 8 years ago. And so expenditures exceed revenues and operating cash balances are shrinking. People often ask, if you made all these cuts, why do you still need more money? One of the major answers lies with this chart, state's elimination of the tangible personal property tax. Businesses used to pay taxes on their inventory that went directly to local governments and schools. As you can see, in 2007, the business inventory tax was worth about $14 million for Mason schools. The state changed the way the tax is paid, and now businesses pay taxes directly to the state. We are supposed to be then reimbursed from the state. But we are still getting about $7 million less than what we were when the businesses paid us directly. Unfortunately, we believe funds will continue to shift from the state to the local level to support schools. This chart shows how Mason compares in its expenditures per pupil to both the state average and to averages in the greater Cincinnati area. It shows that Mason spends $571 less per pupil than the state average and about $470 less per pupil than the average district in Butler, Hamilton, and Warren County. That translates to about $5 to $6 million less per year than these averages.
We're really looking ahead at what we want to accomplish, so we set out as an administrative team to talk about vision and looking at 2020. So where do we want to be as a district? So we landed on this vision, and some of the key words that really stood out to us were personal excellence, collaborative culture, innovation, leadership, and global connection. So now we're doing a check-in to see what resonates with our community members. To reach our vision, we mapped out 4 bold steps, and one of those is global learning. With that, we want our students to understand and effectively work with other cultures. And we know we need to use technology to help us make global connections, and we'd like our students to complete projects with other students across the globe. Another one of our bold steps is focused on student leadership, and we want to provide the structure for students to actively participate in leadership and service opportunities. We also want to use technology to create a portfolio that carries with them throughout their educational career in Mason. Another bold step we titled Anytime, Anywhere Learning, and this really is talking about going beyond the school setting and giving students experiences that are similar to projects that are guided and give them credit outside of the school day. So not only would be using online learning opportunities, but looking also at internships and other practical experiences. The last of our bold steps is titled Individualized Learning, and this is more focused on personalizing experiences. So differentiated instruction, but also differentiated structures and options. So helping students develop their own individual goals and giving them choice in their learning experience.